eaten a lot of burgers in my life, and a lot of burgers since becoming gluten-free like over 10 years ago. But I've had a lot of mixed experiences. So I have been served up a burger in a bun that just crumbles and disintegrates in my hands, and it's just depressing and awful. I've also been served up a burger bun, not a burger bun, a burger in what is not a bun, which is toast. 2 bits of gluten-free bread, toasted, and they've said it's a burger bun. No. And I've also been served up a burger without a bun. No bun at all. We should be able to have a regular, delicious burger bun. So I decided to create my own. So I've made my very own gluten-free brioche burger bun recipe that I'm going to share with you today. And it's honestly so easy to do. It's fluffy. It's like a cloud inside. It's really soft. And you've got this really nice glossy exterior, which just looks like those brioche buns, which we can't have, but you can have, which is just, it's just so good, isn't it? The whole written recipe is in my book, so if you want to check that out, then click down below because I'll put a link there. But this is a really simple and easy way to follow along, because I find with bread, it's just nice. It's not something that we make all the time. For gluten-free bread, it's made kind of different. So how you imagine bread being made, it's not the same really for gluten-free bread. So it's a completely new thing for maybe a lot of you, and I hope this is helpful. Okay, so here are all the ingredients. I've put them into little dishes so that it's easier to explain. So firstly, I've got some gluten-free flour here. This is actually gluten-free bread flour, but you can use gluten-free plain flour / gluten-free all-purpose flour. That's absolutely fine. In here, I've got some xanthan gum, which I think is pretty integral to this, as is my psyllium husk powder, which is just, it's just something that really helps to give it that gluten-like texture which you really want. So these two, that's what they're for. So obviously they're really important. Then I've got salt in here. I have got some sugar in here, which will be used for the yeast part of this. I've got some warm water here. I have got some sesame seeds for the top here. I've got a shot here, not a shot of alcohol, it's actually a shot of cider vinegar, or it's a little bit of cider vinegar, not a full shot. I've got some eggs, I've got some butter that I'm going to melt. I've got my yeast, which I am using dried active yeast, which you need to activate, which is why you need the sugar. And then I've also got some milk, and this milk is warm. So the milk and the water are both warm, and they're going to help to activate this yeast. So I think that is all the ingredients that you need. Okay, so first things first, we need to activate our yeast. So I've got my warm milk here. I'm going to pour in my warm water. I've got my sugar, and I've also got my yeast, and I'm going to put them all in here and let them stand so they become nice and frothy for about 10 minutes. Okay, so whilst the yeast is activating, I'm going to put all of my dry ingredients into this bowl. This is a bowl that I'm going to then use with my stand mixer, but if you're not going to use a stand mixer, just a large bowl that you can use with an electric hand whisk. So all we've got here is my flour, we've got my salt, my psyllium husk, and my xanthan gum. So I'm going to pour them all into this bowl, mix them all together, and put it to one side until the yeast is activated. Okay, so as you can see, my yeast has activated, it has frothed up, it's got a bit of froth on the top. So now I'm going to be adding this to my dry ingredients along with my eggs and my cider vinegar and also my butter, which I melted. So I'm going to add them all in, and then I will be mixing it together and then putting it on the stand mixer to mix even more, but I'll tell you about that in 1 second. Okay, so I briefly mix this. The only reason I mix it is not necessarily if you are using an electric hand whisk or if your stand mixer isn't crazy, but mine is crazy and the flour would fly everywhere if I just didn't mix it slightly. So I've mixed it, and now I'm going to put it onto my stand mixer for, you know, about 3 to 5 minutes. I usually get to about 5 minutes when I do it. And at that point it should be a lot more like a dough, but not a dough as you think of it, more like a really sticky dough. Basically, it won't look like this. It will look all nice and combined. Okay, so that is my dough all nice and done. It's quite thick, it's sticky, as you can see, and I'm just gonna leave this to one side to sort of rest for only about 10 minutes or so. Okay, so my dough has been resting for like 10 minutes now, so it's a little bit less sticky. Like you can see, it doesn't come off my hand so much. So what I want to do is I want to get this and break it into pieces with my hands or whatever, and weigh each bit out so that they're the exact same size. So for me, that's 110 grams. And what I do is I weigh it out on my weighing scales, but I cover them with a bit of cling film because obviously the dough is a little bit sticky and it doesn't stick to cling film, which is really, really handy. So I'm gonna do that now, but then what I'm gonna do, because it's too sticky to then shape into the right shape, I'm going to flour my work surface slightly and sort of, with my hands, make them and shape them into what I want them to be. So I will show you that, and then it'll be time to prove them. But I'll tell you along the way, don't worry, I'm here for you. Okay, so that is my first piece of dough. Obviously, as you can see, it's sticky, so I wouldn't be able to shape it, and if it proved from that shape, it'd be fine, but it'd be a very weird shaped bread roll, or burger bun as it were. So I'm going to now just flour my work surface, just here, and shape it, because once I've sort of put it in a bit of flour, it'll be much easier to handle and much easier to get into the shape that I want it to be. Okay, so the dough is no longer sticky, it's just got a very light coating of flour, and then I'm going to shape it round sort of a bit like this, just so that I get the shape that I want. And then I'm gonna put it in fairly flat, so I'm rolling it, like rounding it like this, and then just sort of tap it down. So I would say that's done now. So I'll just put this onto my baking tray, which is pre-prepared with some non-stick baking paper, and I'll put that to one side and repeat with all the rest of the dough. So yeah, that's done. So I hope you can see how sticky the dough is, so you shouldn't be alarmed if it feels incredibly sticky, you can barely get it off your fingers at the point where you're sort of weighing it out. It will be fine once you put a little bit of flour on it. Okay, so here are my burger buns, as you can see, ready to prove. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cover them with a little bit of cling film, and then I'm gonna pop them in a warm place, which for me is my oven on a very, very, very low setting for about 45 minutes to an hour. And that's basically until they almost double in size. I've made 8 out of this. I've got 6 on here and 2 on another tray. So I'm just gonna pop them in the oven on a really low setting. You could leave them on the side if you're in a hot country. You could put them in like an airing cupboard or by a radiator, I guess, something like that. Anywhere where they'll just be nicely warm, not boiling hot, not cold, just warm. So I am going to prove them now. Okay, so my dough has been proving for about 45 minutes, and as you can see, it has got bigger. You can tell always because things start to stick together, so these two were definitely not touching, but now they are. And I have my other two here, which have got rather large, and they feel just very, you don't want to touch them too much at this point, but they feel very fluffy because obviously they've expanded in size. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to use 1 beaten egg, and I'm going to brush them all with that, and then I'm going to sprinkle them with sesame seeds. You could use poppy seeds if you wanted. You don't actually have to use any seeds if that's not your thing. And whilst those are being done, I'm then going to, well, my oven is already on. My oven is actually going up to 200 degrees C fan, so I will prepare these whilst the oven is heating up. Obviously you could have preheated your oven in advance, and then you would be able to just quickly do this and put them straight in. But also what you want to do is make sure that you boil a kettle, because we're going to put some boiling hot water in the base of the oven. So I'm just going to brush them all now, and then hopefully we'll be kind of ready to put them in the oven. Okay, so it's time. I'm going to put these in the oven, and hopefully I'll try and show you how it's done. I just realised that in all the excitement of putting the burger buns in the oven and the water, like the steam and stuff, that I forgot to say how long they're in for. So these are in for only 20 to 22 minutes. You don't have to change the oven temperature throughout, it's just that 20 to 22 minutes. And they'll be nice and golden. And then what we need to prepare whilst they're in the oven is actually another bit of butter. So we're gonna get some melted butter. So we're gonna get some butter and we're gonna melt the butter. And then as soon as they come out of the oven, we're going to brush them with the melted butter, and that kind of gives them that nice brioche shine, and it actually really softens them to make them into a burger bun as opposed to like a crusty roll or something like that. So make sure you have your melted butter ready to go for when they come out of the oven. Don't they look absolutely amazing? Really nice and golden, just how you want brioche, but they're not completely done. As I said, there's one final step which we need to do literally right now. So I mentioned that I melted my butter, and I'm literally just gonna wipe / brush all of them all over the top with butter. Right, so there you go. That's them all done. There's nothing more I can do except let them cool. So I'm just gonna pop these on a cooling rack and let them 100% cool. Luckily with burger buns, they don't take quite as long as, let's say, like a loaf of bread. So you don't have to wait too long for these, but definitely make sure they're completely cool, because it makes all the difference. Otherwise you'll get like a, potentially like a more gummy texture inside, because they're still cooking when they're cooling. So make sure you let them cool, and then you can enjoy them however you like. Preferably, I'd imagine, with a burger inside. So the full recipe for this amazing gluten-free burger bun recipe is in my book, so I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out. Gluten-free bread is actually so easy to make when you know how. So if you'd like to make my gluten-free sandwich loaf, click up here, and if you'd like to make my gluten-free focaccia, then click up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!